safety class would make more sense. Why are you recording? Yeah.
Well, these are great conversations that we're
good,
having.
I think they're good points.
They're good talking points, yeah, no, 100%.
Like, I don't think fucking a dude's going to be able to walk into a mall with a 223 without... I think he needs more paperwork for assault weapons.
Well, I mean, what's an assault weapon?
A carbine rifle.
An assolt weapon is one select fire, is the thing. Yeah. Like, that's... the gun guys go up in arms about it. It's not an assault rifle.
Over 15 rounds and not a handgun. I mean, either a limit on the amount of rounds, because 22 doesn't really count. Like,
you can't kill 30 people in a mall with a 22?
Yeah, you can, but it's not going to be as effective as a 223 or 5.56.
I agree. I mean, you can kill 15 people in a mall with a knife.
Yeah. You can do it, whatever. You can kill 15 people in the mall with a hammer. Like, yeah. It doesn't matter what you use. I'm just saying, either control what is being sold in under some specification, whether it's rounds, like mag size, or bullet.
Well, like the Clinton assault weapons ban, where they had, only 10 round mags and pistols and such.
Yeah.
The thing is there's so many magazines that are already out there. For that to have any sort of standing, any sort of effect, it would have to be,
Well, it's just like you can get a 10-22 and they only come with 10, but you go to buy more.
Well, yeah, the little Ruger rotary mags are they're stellar. You can't break them, I mean, I've seen people packing full of sand, they still shoot. Like, yeah. It's no big deal.
I'm just making the point of more towards assault weapons, 223, 5.56, the bigger calibers.
Yeah.
Just don't sell them at fucking Walmart.
Well, you start making rules like this, and then it becomes a landslide of like, well, you can only have blue guns. They have to be blue, and they can only fire one round at a time before you reload.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying make it that outrageous. Just
well, that's the fear, is it's going to go in that direction once we start doing more of these.
I don't disagree with being able to limit things like 30-round mags in a 223 without more identification than a state background check.
Oh, yeah.
Because I can walk into Walmart tonight with $1,000 and go buy the fucking Colt 223 and walk into a school tomorrow and do it. Like, there's nothing stopping me.
Right.
If I have a few other things, at least I have the prospects of being a more responsible gun owner versus just some Joe Schmo. Right.
And it's, I mean, even the shooting up in Clackamas, from what I understand, he took that gun from someone else. Someone else already legally owned it.
Well, I know. I mean, that's going to happen no matter what you do.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, the guys that are not wanting more rules to be in place or whatnot, and I guess I'm one of them, this stuff is going to happen regardless, and making more rules and making it harder for your average Joe to go and just buy what he wants isn't going to affect the shootings that are happening now. But I understand, maybe, a waiting period, a cool-off period, so to speak.
Not even so much a waiting period. I just think the more paperwork you have to show that you're a responsible gun owner, as to just some schmuck off the street that wants one with no background. I mean, it's just, I think there's a difference.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you yourself were telling me that you're not necessarily the biggest gun guy, but I mean, I've seen you out here shooting today. I mean, you've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I have fun, and I'm not against guns whatsoever. I just think, with all this shit that's going on, I mean, why not just lock down the things that are actually killable? I mean, a 9mm is a deadly weapon, but it's not as deadly as a fucking 223. Like, no matter which way you put it, it's not.
Well, I mean, that gets into, like, the caliber wars. That fella you were saying at an Outback Steakhouse. You were just, like, sitting down and having something to eat, and he was just going off about 357 SIG.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's the best thing ever. And
I mean, he wasn't saying that. He was just saying that's, like, his new favorite caliber because it's got more power than a 9. It's, like, a little bigger than a 40. And it's this and that. I mean, and that's understandable. It's whatever. You like your fucking round, but that's still classified as a handgun. It doesn't come out of a barrel rifle. It's 20 inches long.
So let's say we didn't have the rules in place that we do with full autos. Well, you and I could be having this same conversation about that.
Right.
Like, let's say there was a shooting where somebody went in there with an assault rifle, with a 100-round Beta mag. It was just spraying them all. More people would be dead, and that's why it's there's so many hoops to jump through to get something like that
Yeah.
because it gets in the wrong hands.
Well, which is 100% understandable. I mean, it's not hard to fucking find out who has a fully automatic weapon. I mean, you go hang out at a gun range for a week or two and someone rolls up with one.
Right,
You know,
right.
Hey,
And it's...
what's your name? Fucking the internet has everyone's name on the planet on it.
Right, and I mean, where you work, you work in a machine shop. I mean,
Yeah.
you can look up on the internet how to, shave a sear or whatever, and you can make a fully automatic weapon.
Easily. I mean, press out silencers, no problem.
Yeah.
Go get some washers, fucking weld them into the thing, and punch them, and there you go.
Well, obviously we haven't done it.
Yeah, I haven't done it, but I mean, I've seen them, and it's not a whole lot more complicated than that.
Yeah, I don't know what the fix is for this, but the guys who have guns don't want any more rules imposed on them, but at the same time, nobody really seems to have the answer. Like with the shooting over in Connecticut, it makes sense to me that we need to protect our young.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if that means letting teachers carry under the desk.
Well, I mean, there's going to be parents who don't want guns anywhere near their kids.
Yeah, I mean, there's always an argument towards them. I mean, it's people will always not like them, and people will always want them.
Do we build walls around our schools? Do we put metal detectors in? How much is that going to cost?
There's a lot of answers to questions you can't.
Right. That's why we're out on the range today, so that we know what we can engage in and how far away, and static targets that don't shoot back.
Yeah, a little bit of a difference, but
yeah, it's just there's a lot of opinions floating around, and it's good to talk about it and be aware of it and be as ready as possible if something like that does happen.
I'm more or less just against the fact of assault weapons.
And what do you mean, like rifles? What you're saying, like
assault
ARs?
rifles, ARs plus 30 rounds or like plus 20 rounds. I mean, it makes sense when the amendments were wrote. You shot muskets. That's one ball. I mean, now we're doing 30 in fucking 2 seconds. I mean, you can fucking pump through pretty goddamn fast.
Yeah, even semis. I mean, you can shoot those pretty fast.
Semi and fully automatic. There's not that big of a difference anymore. When you can squeeze as fast as you can, and that thing still goes versus when it's not. I mean, there's maybe twice as fast.
Right.
But not that big of a difference for someone determined.
Even if we weren't talking about high-capacity magazines, let's say we're talking about 10-round mags.
Yeah.
How long does it take to hit the button and put a new mag in there? 2 seconds?
That's more time than to get out another third 20.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe that gives people enough time. I don't know. These all seem really small steps,
I guess you got to take small ones. You can't just take a big one and say, let's ban guns because people are killing people with them.
Well, what about the opposite?
You got to make them more aware, though, and not have people pissing and moaning about me walking down the street with this in my fucking pocket.
Well, I mean, Oregon law states that you can open carry.
Yeah, but like we seen on the Haas guy, he gets stopped within fucking 5 minutes of being downtown Eugene because he's open carrying, no different than this with a Glock.
Right,
and someone calls the police
this guy
and
with
says,
a gun.
this guy's down with a gun. We either need to be more aware that guns are in our society and people are going to carry them, because most people aren't going to walk into Walmart with this on their hip. They're going to be shy towards it. They're not going to be so open to it. If someone's like, oh my god, that guy's a gun. Like, yeah, I can do it. But you don't want to fucking have to deal with that every fucking time and have security. I see some paperwork for that or blah, blah, blah. Pissing and moaning about it. Either one, make them aware that people own guns and are going to carry them, because I would carry this all the time if it wasn't such a big deal. But people are going to piss and moan about it every time, no matter where you're at. So either make it more aware, or change the rules on them a little bit. I mean, don't take them away, but don't just hand an AR to anybody.
Right. And I mean, in Oregon, it's legal to open carry in a belt holster. But, I mean, I told you the amount of shenanigans I went through with just local PD about doing that. And, I mean, legally carrying in places that I can carry, public establishments, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point where I was like, I just didn't want to be bothered anymore. So I went out and I took the class and I got, the concealed license. And I mean, Haas is a big advocate for open carrying because it's letting people know, hey, you can do this.
I'm more towards that as well, because to conceal, you have to do it. You have to get the class, pay the stamp, get the fucking little license thing, and all the shenanigans with it, and still you have to figure out somehow to fucking conceal big giant handgun, if that's what you want to carry.
Right.
Because to conceal carry, you have to either get something small or not do it. Because, I mean, like, you can somewhat... But it's still there.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you go walking around with that. I mean, somebody who knows what they're looking for
are going to spot that.
Yeah, well, especially that shiny beast that you have.
Yeah, well.
But, yeah, I don't know. I wanted to pick your brain a little bit.
I personally think the best way to do it is make people more aware. Don't call the cops because some dude's walking around with a pistol on his hip.
Right, if he's got it in his hand and he's like...
Yeah, I mean, if you see gun, what the fuck did you say? Like, call the cops. Yeah. You see a dude walking around the store just... with his gun in his pocket, why not? What happens when a dude fucking walks in beside you and just starts spraying people? You have yours at the ready. It's not under your shirt tucked away like in some random spot. Like, you are ready. And I mean, fuck, dude, like... I know the shirt gets in the way.
Sorry.
At least I don't have a fucking pointy gnome hat.
Don't make fun of my pointy gnome hat. Pointy gnome hat.
I don't know. I don't know what the fucking...
They're just questions, and everybody has a personal opinion. And
it wasn't mine. I just make it harder to own an AR, and just make people more aware of that it's okay to open carry. Like that is a valid point, I believe. Like, I think people would be less likely to just go around shooting other people if they knew 5 other people probably are open carrying their handguns right next to them.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Like, people that aren't just going to shoot themselves in the head like 10 seconds after they open fire somewhere. Like, you'll never stop that. People have the will to do what they want. I mean, like, you can say it's illegal to go murder people. That doesn't mean it's going to stop people. But